Welcome to this video from In 28 Minutes. Thanks for all your love, which helped us to grow to 25,000 subscribers on YouTube and more than 46,000 students on Udemy. You can find more about us on our website www.in28minutes.com. This video is a part of series of 100 plus videos celebrating my 15 years of experience with programming, design and architecture. In these videos, we talk about how to become a good programmer and a good architect. We also talk about Java related frameworks, concepts, practices and terminologies other than the varied range of tools that we make use of. You can find more details in the description of the video. In this video, let's look at one of the most popular IDEs, Eclipse. We would look at some tips. Actually, we'll look at 10 different tips that makes you more productive with Eclipse. We really believe that if you're a good programmer, you have to be really good with your IDE. The IDE has so many features, and a typical developer would use IDE for more than 50, 60, 70, 90% of the time. Okay, whatever it is. So a typical developer would be using the IDE for a long time. So it's better, you better get very good at the IDE. So that's the intention behind this video. So let's look at the 10 tips with Eclipse. Let's start with the first one. So the first one which we are going to look at is the Eclipse Quick Fix. What's Quick Fix? Control 1. So let's take a quick demo. So let's create a small class. Okay, I have a small class in here, app. So I'm going to create, let's say, a dummy class. I'll create an instance of it. So dummy class. Doesn't make sense. Okay, dummy class object. Okay, now so it's telling me there's an error. What do I do? Control 1 or command 1. That's the quick fix. So control 1 or command 1. Let's do that. So this class is not there. So the dummy class is not really there. So I'm pressing control 1. So it gives me the options. So at any place, whatever you're doing, press control 1 and Eclipse will give you the suggestions which are appropriate to that particular context. So control 1, command 1. So whenever I say control or command, you can interchange between them. Command on Mac, control on Windows. So that's not really so translate it appropriately to the environment you're using. So I'll use control from now on. So if I say control 1 on Windows, on Mac, the corresponding one would be command 1. So just press control 1 and then I can say create class. So Eclipse would create that class for me. So it's bringing up a UI so that I can create that class. If I actually, let's go ahead and create this class, and it's automatically created. You can see that in here. And if let's say I'm now calling a method on that, so object dot some method. So first thing is, I don't really care about whatever names I'm giving in this. The idea is to give you a demo of Eclipse and not really worry about the class names or the object names I'm making use of. So I'm just giving some names to the classes, objects and methods. This would not be something which would be really good names, but yeah, so now I can press control 1 and there you go. So it's saying, okay, let's go ahead and create that class, that method in the class. So let's go ahead and do that. So you can see Eclipse goes to that class, creates that method, it's there. So the same thing, if I actually had something like this, let's say I'm saying int I is equal to object dot some other method. What does it do? Let's see. Control 1. So it's saying either change to some method or create a new method. So I'm taking the create method option. There you go. So you can even see that it identifies the return type and gives you the return type. So this is not really related, just limited to this. Control 1 is my favorite shortcut in Eclipse. And any context, just press control 1. See, there's a error at this particular thing. I obviously have an unused variable. I press control 1 and it says remove I and all assignments, or remove I and keep assignments with. So as you can see, there are options that Eclipse is suggesting me as soon as I press control 1 or command 1. So that's the magic of Control 1. I mean, you can play around with Control 1 a lot. It's my favorite Eclipse shortcut. Let's move on to the next tip that I have for you. It's called Save Actions. So I've added in a lot of stuff in here. So if we look at it, I mean, sometimes you'd leave the code unformatted, right? So let's say I'm writing code like this and I'm saving it. It doesn't really look good. I have to do Control Shift F to format, or Command Shift F on Mac. So I have to do a lot of things to format the code. Or like, let's say there is an unused variable. Let's say there is an unused member variable. So there are a lot of scenarios where you like the IDE can do the cleanup for you. So let's say I left the code in this format and I would want IDE to do something to fix this. I mean, to auto format. So how do I get the IDE to do that? So that's the Eclipse preferences, or it's Windows preferences on Windows, and type in save, and you'd see save actions in here. So you can see that there are a lot of save actions which are present in here. So what would happen is I would actually, like, this would be the default. So I would add in perform save, perform the selected actions on save. What would happen now is that as soon as I press save, so as soon as I press Control S or Command S, whichever one, so as soon as I press save, file save, code gets formatted, the imports gets organized, and I can add additional actions. So let's quickly do apply and click OK. And now you'd see as soon as I press save, I make a change and press save. It's formatted. So that's the beauty. So I make a change anywhere. So let's just say I do something of this kind. So it gets automatically formatted. So once you enable save action, so it's Eclipse preferences or Windows preferences, and type in save, you'd go to save actions, and whatever actions you put in here would happen every time you do a save. So things like formatting your code, I mean, you can set it in here. The thing is, with formatting source code, you can actually format all lines or use format edited lines. So I mean, if you're working in a big project with a lot of code already, you don't want to format all the lines. You don't know, like, because the like when you commit it in, all those changes that you do would be like committed in, and you don't want that. So you can probably set to format edited lines so that only the lines you have changed, they would be formatted. And you can also configure the formatting, default formatting settings, format a page. I mean, that's common formatting functionality. And also you can organize your imports. So you can also configure how you'd want to organize your imports in here. And there are a lot of additional actions that you can do. Let's quickly look at the additional actions that you can do. So once I click configure, as you can see, there is a lot of stuff you can look at. So you can sort your members, you can specify how you want to sort it, and you can correct, remove white space and things like that. And also things like your code style. So how do you want your for loops? I mean, even things like you write a basic for loop and the IDE automatically converts it to enhanced for loop. I mean, that's something you wouldn't want to write, because writing a basic for loop takes longer than using the enhanced one. So yep, maybe in an automated kind of scenario where you have hundreds of lines of code and you want to automatically convert that. Yeah, expressions. I mean, using final wherever you'd want. I mean, I don't really like that rule. I mean, but yeah, if you want to make it something final, just use that. Member access as well. So you can use this on all the member, and you can remove all the like missing code as well. So, and yeah, so remove unused imports, remove unused private members, remove unused local variables. So you can try these and you can play around with this. Save actions is one of the features in Eclipse I love. The next tip is copying a snippet of code. Okay, so let's do some magic now. Okay, I'm going to one of my repositories. Let's go to, okay, this repository is on GitHub / in 28 minutes. I mean, we have all our courses in here. So let's pick one of them. Let's take the Java technology for beginners, let's say. So this is one of the repositories that we are creating to kind of make a master list of all the technologies in use and try and give a quick introduction to them. So let's go to Spring. I have a small example down here. I have a class called to do in here. So you can see that there is a class called to do in here. So what I would want to do is copy this. So I want to create this class in my workspace. So I want to copy this and put it in my workspace. How do I do that? So you can do a file, new class to do, and then copy the code step by step. Or you can use Eclipse Magic. So I'm copying this, Control C, Command C, whichever operating system you're using, and then just need to double click and then go here and paste. Aha, there you go. You see that it's already pasted. So I'll delete this again. So all that you need to do, copy your piece of code and paste it in whichever package you'd want to paste it. So I want to paste it here, so I just say paste. That's it. The class would be automatically created for you in that specific package. Uh, let's do a little bit more. So let's say I want to create 10 classes. So I would say class A, class B. Let's take, okay, I'll create 3 class, even though I don't really, yeah, let's make them capital class. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll now copy this stuff out and I'm pasting it in here. You see the magic? It automatically creates the class. Let's say I want to have individual classes for each one of them. I can say public class B, public class C. I mean, actually, you can type this out in something like an editor, and now I can paste it in. Yeah, I'll want to override. So you would see that now there are multiple classes being created. So that's the magic. I mean, that's basically, you can write any code and paste it in, and Eclipse would create the structure for you. So it's a very useful thing whenever you want to try something out very quickly. So that's your copy paste, copying a snippet of code. The next one, is shortcuts. That's the best way to become productive, right? So Eclipse is a great IDE. I mean, yeah, there are other paid versions of IDEs which are better, but for a starting programmer who does not have access to the best IDEs, Eclipse is really good start. Eclipse has a lot of shortcuts. I've identified a few of them and listed them on our GitHub repository in 28 minutes, Eclipse in 28 minutes, and some of them are down here. So, I mean, there are a lot of shortcuts that you can use. Let's try a couple of them. I mean, I doubt if I would be able to go through all of them now. So let's say I want to move this line down. All that I need to do is press Alt down arrow. So Alt down arrow moves a line or a selection of lines up and down. So if I want to select all these, just select all of them and keep moving them. So you can move it wherever you would want. And if you really want to select the entire method, you can move that too. So select that, keep pressing Alt down arrow, and that's it. So that's basically the Alt up arrow or down arrow to move your code. Control Shift R, yeah, Control Shift R is like the most basic of the Eclipse shortcuts. So I can search for a class, I can search for anything. So Control Shift R searches for a resource. So it can be a class, XML file, or anything. Control Shift T searches for types. So that's basically your classes. So you can search for any class. So this would include all the classes in your class path. So let's say I had some Spring related stuff in my class path. I can type in Spring and see all the classes that are starting with the name Spring. So it's basically a search through the entire class path to see what classes you have on the class path. Yeah, Control slash is to comment something. So if I just press command slash or control slash, that line would be commented. Comment, uncomment, comment, uncomment. So it would toggle the comment. And Control D is to delete the line. So that's Control L. That's another good shortcut. So you can choose which line you want to go to. So 37. Control L and put your line. Alt Shift X gives you all the options which you would want to use to run the program or run a JUnit test or things like that. Control Shift L would bring you the complete list of shortcuts. So press Control Shift L. You don't know what's the shortcut for something, just press Control Shift L and it would bring up a complete list of shortcuts. So you can see there are a huge list of shortcuts that are present in here. The ones which you are seeing right now are kind of Mac ones, but if you go to your Eclipse in Windows and press Control Shift L, it would show you the options in Windows as well. F3 is to go to the discussion, the definition of or declaration. So let's just F3. It goes to the specific class. So if I was doing it on a variable, let's say I'm doing F3 here, it would take me to where it is declared. So depending on whether you're creating it on a variable or a class, it would take me there. So function F3, it takes me to the class. If I actually do it on a method call, it would take me to the method itself. So if I'm doing it on this F3, so it takes me to the string format method. So F3 is also a very useful thing, and the other function which is really useful is F4. I'll do F4 on uh, this particular thing. So if you are seeing object string, so F4 is the type hierarchy. So if you press F4 or function F4 on Mac, you would actually you can see the complete hierarchy of that specific class. Let's say I had a tree of classes, then I can see the complete hierarchy down there. So if you string buffer or any of those classes, you can see if I press F4 on this, you can see the entire hierarchy. So string buffer extends abstract string builder, which extends object. Let's say I want to see the hierarchy of, yeah, let's take one of the map classes, or let's take hash map, for example. So I'm doing hash map and I'm pressing function F4. There you can see the entire hierarchy of the hash map. So you can see hash map extends abstract map, and you can see that there are other classes which extend hash map as well. So all the classes below it are the classes which extend hash map. So if you want to have a quick look at how the things are, then this is a really great shortcut. Function F3 is to see the declaration, function F4 is to see the hierarchy, and if you press Ctrl O, you can see all the methods which are present in a specific class. So I'm pressing Ctrl O, and it shows me all the methods that are defined in here. So that's also another useful shortcut, Ctrl O, to bring up all the methods that are there. The last things that I would want to talk about are breadcrumb. So breadcrumb is the one which is in here. So you can see that toggle breadcrumb. If you click this, you can see the entire hierarchy of the how you reach to that specific class. This project uses a library. So this is a library in the class path, and this contains a package, and that's where we are hash map. So if I go to another class, let's say in this particular thing, I can see the entire hierarchy in here. And also I can click down there and see what are the other things which are present in there. This is very useful. And if you really want to quickly refer something, quickly check something, the breadcrumb is a useful tool. And toggle occurrences is also a useful thing. So if I highlight this, it would show where all this particular variable is used. This particular member variable is used. So you can see that it's all highlighted. So toggle breadcrumb is another useful feature in Eclipse that I really like. It's very useful when you're looking for some variable where all it's used. So I just need to go up and down and mark occurrences, and then you can see where all it's used. So I can highlight this and I can see where all that specific thing is used. So we started with Eclipse Quick Fix, Control 1. We went to Save Actions. We saw how to copy a snippet of code to create multiple classes, and then we looked at a few shortcuts. The next one that we are looking at is templates. So this would be something which a lot of people would have already tried. So sysout, just try sysout and press Control spacebar. It becomes system.out.println. So I'm just typing sysr and Control spacebar. Aha, how does this magic happen? This is through a feature in Eclipse called templates. In Eclipse, you have templates defined, so Java editor templates, that's where it is. And this sysr is defined in here. If I just go further down, yep, this is where it is. So sysout, whenever you type out sysout, what does it give me? Is this. So you can even tell where the cursor should be and things like that. So if you want to create a logging related thing, so if you are using a specific logging framework and you want to create a template for that, just put it in here. So just say log error or log info or log error, log debug. So you can create the templates for that, and that becomes your shortcuts. So that's this is a very useful thing to save your time. The other tip is regarding working sets. So if you are having a big project and I have a lot of things imported in here, and let's say I'm working on multiple projects at the same time, uh, I wouldn't want to look at 100 projects uh, right here. I mean, one option is obviously to create multiple workspaces, but if you're like me, lazy, you want multiple workspaces, multiple projects at the same time, then you have something like this. In these kind of situations, you can use some concept called working set. So I'm doing a file, new, and I'm saying working set. So I'm creating a Java working set and say next. You can choose what all things should be part of that working set. So I'm choosing a couple of projects to be part of that working set. I'll give it a name. Let's say this is my Maven working set, and I move all my Maven projects to down there. So, and I click finish. These are added to the working set, but I don't see that yet. The way I can enable working sets is by just click it in here, top level elements, and change to working sets. And then I can decide which working sets to enable. So I would want to only see Maven. There you go. So I'm seeing only my specific things I chose. Let's say I want to enable everything. Then I can switch back down there. I can actually now start using the working set. So if I have multiple working set, I can keep switching it back. Working sets is a really useful feature in Eclipse, especially when you are working on a lot of projects at the same time. Package representation is another useful thing. If you look at, let's quickly go to a project with some files. So this is the default way Eclipse organizes its packages, but some people prefer this kind of organization. So package presentation, change it to hierarchical, and then it becomes hierarchical. So this is the way it would show it. So it shows it in a hierarchical way. So instead of, so now if form contained another package, it would show it underneath it and that kind of a view. So this is one of the other ways where you can have your Eclipse show things in a different way. So you can see that servlet to do, and yeah, so you can see that now the entire representation has changed. The default way Eclipse organizes its packages is by, it's called a flat structure, where you can see that it's showing all the packages in a flat way. If you really want to show it in a hierarchical way, you can change that by going here and changing it to hierarchical. That's an option. I don't frequently use it, but it sounds to be something which might be useful for others. So we already looked at breadcrumb trail. The ninth tip that we are going to talk about is plugins. So I mean, plugins is the way a lot of customizations of Eclipse are done. So there used to be a Eclipse, I mean, there is a Eclipse version called My Eclipse, which is kind of a paid version, which is they take Eclipse and kind of customize it with their own plugins. And also Spring STS is basically Eclipse zazzed up with all the different plugins that are present, which would make working with Spring framework very easy. So the great thing is with Eclipse is you can write plugins to extend this, like whether it's code quality plugins like Checkstyle, PMD, Fineworks. There are plugins to integrate with things like Sonar, uh, like things like Jira. So yeah, so there are a lot of plugins, which is one of the another tip. So for the task you're doing, see if you can actually do it using a plugin from your IDE itself. And the last one is local history. It's a simple tip. So if you actually go on any file and you can check the local history of that particular thing. So you can see the entire local history for the file, and you can decide what you want. I mean, you can check the entire, like if when did I modify and things like that. I mean, this is not just for files on the like version control. So if you have a repository, the repository maintains the history, right? So this is more of a local changes. So whatever you have done on a specific class, you can see it by going to local history. So there you go. So those are the list of 10 tips that I wanted to share with you regarding Eclipse. I mean, Eclipse is a very good IDE, and if you're working with Eclipse for more than half your time, then it's really worth your time to become an expert on Eclipse. We have a complete course on Eclipse. You'll find the link below in the description. It would be a great way for you to get started and really productive with Eclipse. And other than that, we have a whole range of other courses. You'll find all the links in the description of the video. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Until the next time. Thanks for watching this video. We created this video to celebrate my 15 years of experience with design, architecture, and programming. We have created two complete Git repositories for you: Java Technology for Beginners and Java Best Practices. Java Best Practices covers my 15 years of experience with design patterns, code quality, design, architecture, and modern development practices. We talk about REST services, SOAP web services, microservices, cloud native applications, 4 principles of simple design, among a varied range of other topics. It tells you how to become a good programmer, designer, or an architect. Java Technology for Beginners focuses on the frameworks, concepts, practices and terminologies and tools related to application development. You can find link to the repositories in the description of the video. In 28 minutes has some of the highest rated courses on varied range of topics. You can find more information on our website www.in28minutes.com.